Can you hear me? Yes. Or are you listening to me? So that's the difference between communication and effective communication, wherein you make your audience attentively listen to you. And that is where storytelling plays a very vital role in effective communication. What is storytelling? Storytelling is basically narrating something in a way that is most easily understood by your audience. So suppose if I have to tell something to a child and I have to say the hen went cock-a-doodle-doo, instead I might say the hen went cuckoo, because that's how the child would understand. So that is effective communication according to me through storytelling. Why storytelling is necessary? For this, I would like to narrate a small story, which is the story of story. It is the story of two beautiful girls. One was truth and the other was story. So they both were equally beautiful, and one day they had this competition on who is more beautiful. Truth said, I'm more beautiful, but story denied and said, no, I am more beautiful. So one day they decided to compete and walk through the village, and whosoever got more fan followings would be declared as the winner. First, it was Truth. She came dressed in a beautiful red gown, and she looked really beautiful. When she walked into the village, sadly, nobody noticed her. She walked a little ahead, and people started running towards their houses. By the time she came towards the last lane of the village, she noticed that nobody was behind her, and she felt so embarrassed about this. To try the last resort, she dropped her gown and started walking naked. But sadly, people went into their houses, they locked their doors and windows, shut their eyes, and sat in a corner, not wanting to see. Then came Story, dressed in a very simple dress with a shawl around her. The moment she walked onto the lane of the village, people started following her. They started coming out of their houses and were chasing her. They wanted to see her, feel her, touch her, listen to her, and just be with her. As she crossed the entire village, everybody from this to that were with her. As the competition ended, Truth was very upset. And she went to Story and said, "What was this? Why nobody followed me?" Story smiled. She took her shawl and wrapped it around Truth and said, "Now you must go and see what happens." Truth said, "You mean to say it's the shawl that made you win? It's the shawl that the people were following?" Story smiled again, and she said, "People in this world don't want to know the truth. They don't want to see the truth. They don't want to hear it. But, and especially when the truth is stark naked, nobody wants to see it. But the moment you wrap a truth with a beautiful story, everybody wants to see it, hear it, and be around it. That is the power of storytelling. If a husband has to tell his wife that your clothes don't look so nice today, he cannot dare to give a truth. He must wrap it around with a good story. If a mother has to teach moral lessons to her child, she dare not throw her truth. she has to weave them in a story. Similarly, if somebody, a salesman, has to sell his product, he cannot go on telling the facts about the product. He has to weave them in a story. And that is the power of storytelling. But while telling a story, while writing the story, there are 5 basic elements that we tend to forget. And those 5 elements are the setup, the setting of the story that we do not talk about, where the story has happened. We immediately go on saying, once there was a boy who loved a girl. No. Where was that boy? Where did he live? How was his entire setting? Second, the characters of the story are very important, who all are a part of the story, and the characteristics of those important characters. Third, problem. Every story must have a problem that we are trying to solve. Fourth, what is the fourth one? Then what's the fifth one? No? Fourth are the events. Are the events which lead from the problem to a solution, that help us solve that problem, are the events. And last, of course, is the solution. These are the basic, fundamental of a story. But when we are trying to narrate a story, what are the basic elements of storytelling? 1. What are the elements of storytelling? That was the story plotting. Okay, we have done it. We have done with the settings, the characters and everything. While we are telling it, what is important? Emotions. The emotions. The emotions, you must feel the story to make your audience feel the same story. You have to feel the emotions of every character in the story. Second, dialogues, as in the voice. So voice modulation is a very important factor. But how do we practice this voice modulation? Everybody has their own ways. What I would suggest is try to mimic everybody and anybody whom you find interesting. So even if it's 1 character per week, trust me, by the end of 6 months, you will have a bag full of characters with you. Third, words, vocabulary, that happens eventually. Your connect with the audience. How does that happen? Your eye contact with the audience. When I am telling a story, I don't think there's anybody who felt I wasn't looking towards them. It is very important to make an eye contact with the audience. Only then you can pass on your emotions to your audience. And last but not the least, the most important part of storytelling is, the most important element of storytelling is
message.
Message? Yes. What is the most important body part required to be a good storyteller? My hands. You think it was my smile? My hands? Okay. So the most important body part to be a good storyteller are your ears. That's why you have to protect. You have to be a very good listener to be a very good teller. And that's why I started asking you this one question. Can you listen to me? Thank you.